everyone. I'm not using my mic because battery's kind of low. Oh my god. I just thought I'd talk to you guys for a bit before I hit the hay. So I just did some readings for the new moon. Did all 12 signs finally, did them all late. But if you go and check out Empress Justice Tarot on TikTok, you can see all 12 signs, all 12 zodiac signs if you're into that sort of thing. I'm uploading like the other 4 or 5 signs on YouTube, and I'm going to upload them on Instagram as well, so you can catch them pretty much everywhere. They're going to be late, but it's worth it. It's worth the wait. I just wanted to give you the lowdown on what's going on with me, just in case you haven't seen my Facebook. So the first thing is the most important. I actually spoke to my landlords again, and I informed them, I didn't ask permission, I informed them that I was going to install a security camera. Also, the shower's not working here, so I've told them that too. I've told them that as well, but most likely they're going to try to delay that as much as possible until they can find some way to get their electrician to read my meter. I don't want them doing that because, yeah, so let me walk backwards. So I had to report the shower earlier on today because it's not heating up. The shower is not a gang stalking thing. It's just not working. It does that. It's been a few years since I've been here. So every few years, like, the shower conks out. So I let them know that the shower wasn't working. But whilst I was doing that, I also sent them footage of the shower not working. So there was the expectation that they should fix it. Not only because I'm a vulnerable person, but even when I'm not, like, landlords have a responsibility to make sure that your amenities are working. Okay, like things like waterworks, heating, like basic survival stuff, like all these things are supposed to be working, and you're supposed to have privacy as well. So yeah, they're here to make sure that all of that is sorted out. So I've let them know that the shower's not working. And let me turn this on because I feel fucking cold, bro. Let me turn this on because I'm cold. I've let them know that the shower's not working, so they need to come and deal with that, because I'm a vulnerable person, and you know, as landlords, they're expected to take care of that. At the same time, I also let them know that, again, I would be installing cameras into the house the next time I get paid. I'm getting a camera to put in here so that I can get evidence of people breaking into my home when I'm not here. And even if that camera ends up being vandalized or some shit, it's just evidence on top of evidence at this point. So, like, I don't need to worry about that. So I'm getting a camera, putting it in here. Also, I also reminded my landlords that I am going to seek out my own electrician to read the meter, because, you know, again, it's something the police suggested. So it was actually the police that suggested the camera, and it was also the police that suggested I get an independent electrician, otherwise they weren't going to look at the case. So I let the landlords know, reminded them that I'm getting my own electrician. And the reason why I reminded them of that is so that if, and I do say if, an electrician comes and fixes the shower, then there's no confusion about whether or not he's going to check the meter, because I don't want anybody checking the meter unless I've paid somebody, like, for myself to come and check it. And even then, I'm going to get evidence of that report as well. So yeah, I'm going to get evidence of that report as well. So yeah, the police have been stalling on that deliberately because they won't look at the electronic usage. So they've been stalling on that. And the landlords, they haven't been stalling on anything because they're not expected to do anything. They're just expected to just do nothing for now. But yeah, the police have been shifting goalposts to stall things. But I'm going to oblige because, again, if I do what I'm supposed to do and they keep shifting goalposts, then that's evidence of corruption. I don't need to worry about it. But yeah. Third thing is, I'm not having the landlords have an electrician to look at my smart meter to see who's been using it, because again, it would be a conflict of interest, and technically it would be the landlord solving their own crime. They've already done that. They already did that last year in January. Actually, no, tell a lie. Last year in February, when my electric was being used for almost an entire month, with the strongest usage of electric being towards the end of the month, right? So the landlords already investigated their own crime before, and quelle surprise, they didn't find nothing wrong except a tripped circuit. Although how a tripped circuit can run up £400 worth of electric is anybody's guess, but okay. So we've already seen what happens when the landlords investigate their own crime. They're not about to get that chance again. Okay, so that's that on that. I just have to get the money together for an electrician, get the money together for the camera. The camera is going to be easier to get. But yeah, I'm getting a camera so that, like, once and for all we can just settle this breaking in shit. And again, I wasn't asking. So that's that on that. We're going to get proof once and for all because I'm tired of this shit. So that's the first thing. Second thing is that these perps are just being assholes at this point. I think I keep oscillating back and forth between thinking that they put a hex on me and thinking that they didn't, because they're just acting weird. They're just acting weird. They've been acting weird ever since I left. Ever since I left my cleaning apparatus with regards to my toiletries, ever since I left my cleaning apparatus like accidentally behind and I didn't rinse anything out, ever since I did that, they've just been acting fucking weird. So I think this is how it's supposed to go, right? What I believe happened was that they took some of my DNA. Stay with me because stay with me here. Because magic is crazy. If you really understood how magic worked, this is why nobody talks about it. If you really understood how magic worked, you'd think this was the behavior of a crazy person. But this is what I believe happened. Because I didn't rinse that thing out. I think it was January that I headed out to London. Because I didn't rinse it out, I think they took some of my DNA and somehow they tried to perform a hex or a curse that said that if there was a curse on them or a hex on them, that I would no longer be able to do tarot readings. Now, this is just conjecture on my part. And the reason why this is conjecture on my part is because they've been acting very weird. Every time I do tarot readings, they act extremely weird. So either they have done the hex for real, or they wanted to try to make me scared enough to not do it. But I do believe that they tried to perform a hex using my DNA. I do believe that. It's bad. It's really bad if they've done that. But not for me. And the reason why it's not bad for me is because my whole life, right, I have been bullied and mistreated just for being myself, just for coming into the world as myself. Now, don't get me wrong, I didn't help my case. When people used to come after me, I used to do too much. Well, people overreact anyway, but that's beside the point. When people used to come after me, I used to do too much. And I was already being cast as the villain just for being myself. So I would do too much and make it worse, right? But this is the thing. I'm the type of person, people bully me for being myself or for being quicker on the draw than they are. They want to punish me for that. Or they want to punish me for getting more attention than they do or being more talented, something like that. They want to punish me for that, right? They end up punishing me for it. then it bites them in the ass. Because like 9 times out of 10, right, when I get bullied, I don't realize at the time, because I'm so hurt by the bullying and I'm so hurt by the mistreatment. It's happened from the time I was little. Like, whenever somebody messed with me, it turned out bad in some kind of way. Like, after I'm gone, after they successfully driven me out of somewhere, after they successfully modded me out of somewhere along the line, they suffer the consequences of their actions, and it's bad, right? And because it's bad, and because I'm the type of person who's not liked, right? When things go bad in their lives, they come back around to me, and the whole cycle starts up again. Meanwhile, I'm going through all this pain, but instead of it actually making me worse, every cycle that I spend going through pain, going through abuse, somehow I end up being a better person at the end of it than I was before all the bullshit happened, right? It always happens that way. So slowly but surely, I'm improving. I'm getting better. I'm becoming more self-assured, growing more into my power every single day. Even though technically people keep punishing me for being myself, it actually strengthens me in a lot of ways. It hardens me, makes me very difficult to take down. I'm one of those people where the more you try to destroy me, or the weaker I'm supposed to be, or or the uglier or whatever I'm supposed to be, that's the stronger I fucking get. And it's not something that I can help. It's not something that I try to be. It's just something that I was born with. It's just who I am. Like, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter what people try to take away from me. It almost always backfires. Almost always. And then when it backfires, I get the blame for it backfiring, and it starts up again. This is how I know that this is never going to end. The enemies who keep coming back round to me and keep getting their shit rocked spiritually and astrally, they keep getting their shit rocked because they keep coming back round to me. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do anything. I've never had to do anything. It's just who I am as a person. It's just my life. I don't choose this. I don't choose this. It just happens to me. I don't know why. I don't know why God saw fit to give me a life where I'm fucking battered by everybody and they end up paying for it. I can't explain why. I can't explain why. It's just my life. If I even knew sooner, if I knew when I was younger, baby, I would have made the most of that shit. Believe that. I would have exploited that shit for all it was worth when I was younger. Like, you seriously think I'd be in the same situation as a bunch of losers if I knew my power? If I was really aware of it? Do you seriously think I'd be in the same position as a bunch of losers? Do you seriously think I'd be a diamond in the midst of a coal mine out here? Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here. But it's just my life. This is never going to end. That's how I know this is never going to end. Magic or no magic. It's just going to be like, a thing where the gang stalkers keep trying for my destruction, but they don't understand. If they think I'm powerful now, wait until they get what they actually want. Then they're going to know what power is. And because they can't handle the consequences of their actions, after they've gotten what they want, they're still going to come back around to me, try to disrespect me in some way, try to disrespect my memory, and it's just, they're just going to end up doing something that's going to fuck their lives up. Fuck their deaths up, even. fuck their ancestry up, fuck their bloodline up. It's just never going to stop. Because when it comes to me, people get obsessed. They don't stop. They just don't stop. Ever. They just don't stop. It just doesn't stop. They just will not stop. People don't understand how bad it is. Like, I'm one of those people that if I really wanted to hurt the world around me, all I'd have to do is delete myself. That's all I'd have to do. If I wanted to hurt every single person that's ever been in my life, all I'd have to do is delete myself and let all the dirty laundry come the fuck out. Nobody would recover. Nobody would recover. Nobody, I mean nobody would be the same. Nobody would be the same. Everybody would be exposed. There would be a lot of infighting, a lot of suffering. A lot of suffering that would never end. And again, I don't mean to be this way. I don't mean to be this way. I would rather just be happy and just be content and just be like left alone to live my life. I would rather have that than have people come after me and they get hurt because they keep coming after me. And then they come back around blaming me for it and then they get hurt again. I'd rather just be happy and left alone, but they're not going to do that. It's not going to end. They're not going to do that. They're always going to suffer. They're not going to stop. And in the meantime, my power, or who I am, will continue to grow. No matter what. But that's because it's me. That's because it's who I am. And, there's human plans and then there's spirit's plan. And spirit's plan always wins. Can't stop it. I wouldn't call that an anointed thing. I wouldn't call myself anointed. I don't think that's what it is. I just think that's just who I am. That's just who I am. I'm the kind of person, I'm not liked, but then people end up doing too much because I'm not liked and they suffer for it. So when it comes to using my DNA for hexes, I don't know, boy. I just hope they're ready. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good at all. Not for them. For me, like I said before, bad things happen to me. I get stronger at the end of it. But these people, they're not ready. They're just not ready and they keep acting like they are. I don't understand how they keep doing that. They keep fucking themselves up and they just don't learn. They just don't learn and they never will. It's crazy. It's not like I'm not resourceful. I can be resourceful, but again, it's just my life. That's just how things are. So that's the second, the kindest thing for anybody to do would just be to leave me alone. Or let me get my lick and leave it there. That's the kindest thing people could do to themselves. The only thing getting in their way of suffering the consequences for their actions is me. If they had any sense, they just stop, but they're not going to. So it is what it is. As for this, I don't know, man. I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be all right no matter what. No matter what happens. It's them that need to worry. That is if the hex thing is true. But even if it's not true, it's not going to stop, and they're always going to suffer for it. And again, like I said before, it's a worthless kind of pleasure to know that people are going to be miserable for mistreating me, and that they're going to suffer for mistreating me. It's a miserable type of pleasure, because by the time it happens to them, like the fucking consequences are so over the top. It's like, I never wanted this. I never wanted this. I wanted them to pay, but not fucking like this. Not like this. Imagine the whole world fucking burning because people wouldn't leave you alone. I don't want that shit. Fuck me. I don't want that shit. You kidding me? Anyway, third thing, thought broadcasting. I'm going to wait for, you know what? I'm not going to wait for this person to show up. I don't mind, like, them commenting on my page. Like, if they want to, like, another tussle with me, we can have another tussle. Thought broadcasting, you're getting on my fucking nerves. I don't know what it is about me and my page that makes you feel like you can be arrogant enough to come on here and continuously disrespect not only me, but other TIs. I don't know what the fuck your problem is. You're really out here talking about me having no emotional regulation because I talk about what the gang stalkers are doing and I wanted to fight them one time. Like, again, they're literally fucking killing and trafficking me. And the only thing I wanted out of that situation was a beat down. They got off lucky. You want to talk to me about being emotional dysfunction. You want to talk to other TIs about identifying your triggers. Can you identify the triggers that will make you come on my page with diatribes that you self-like? Disrespecting me and disrespecting other TIs. I want to know how, out of your infinite wisdom, you think you have the fucking right to do that to people. Go ahead and comment below. I don't mind whooping you all over again verbally. Go ahead and bring that shit down here. I don't know what the fuck your problem is. You are not smarter than other TIs. You need to stop acting like you are. Listen, the only people that I feel like are idiots and that don't want to learn are bigots that are TIs and Trump supporters that are TIs. I don't like dismiss anyone else. And when it comes to the misinformations that a lot of TIs put out, yes, there's going to be misinformation. They're just starting to learn about this shit. They feel like they're going crazy even though they're not. There's going to be misinformation. They're trying to find out as much as possible. They are hurting. They're tired. They want an end to it. There's going to be misinformation. But even then, with me calling my shit misinformation after years of research and me talking to microwave weapons experts, you are way out of your fucking league. You need to sit the fuck down before you're sat the fuck down. Again. Sit your ass down. Go back to the kids' table where you belong. This is not something you want. I've been telling TIs I don't tolerate bullshit. How are you going to come on my page because I talk about ultrasound weaponry being used against neighborhoods? They are being used against neighborhoods. Poorer neighborhoods are a perfect breeding ground for this type of technology. If you had any sense and you had any research that you've been doing, you would know that, rather than coming on my page with no fucking sentence structure, talking shit. And again, If you want to come out that comment down here, you can comment down here. I'm ready. In fact, I'll tag you. I'll tag you so you can defend yourself with another diatribe, and I can come back around again. I don't mind whipping your ass all over again. I really don't. Like I said in the diatribe that I sent you in response, you wanted your attention. Congratulations. Go and cool off. Learn some emotional regulation so you won't look so fucking stupid. I'm sorry, but that pisses me off. Do not do that. You have no emotional regulation and you want to attack everyone else. Get a fucking... This is why I don't like TI sometimes. Because, you know, we lack so much social skills. And, you know, and back when I was first being aware of this, you know, when I was living in Willesden Green and I was just becoming aware of this, I was one of those people that was hurting so badly. Because I didn't know my own strength. I didn't know my own strength. So I was hurting. I was hurting. I was lashing out. I was angry. I thought no one loved me. Because if people loved me, how could they think it was okay for me to be trafficked and for no one to say anything? If you got one Nazi in a room, and you don't get up from the table. Like if there's one Nazi that comes down to sit with 10 people and 10 people don't get up from the table, then you've got 11 Nazis sitting at the table. That's what my gang stalking is like. I thought no one loved me. Like I was living with that realization in Willesden Green, knowing that I actually was mentally ill and I was neurodivergent as well. My grandma has long suspected that I'm on the spectrum, and I think she's right. Here and here, relaxed, no tension. And a little bit of tension. You know? My grandmother has long suspected that I'm on the spectrum. I think she's right. I think she's right. She's long suspected that I'm on the spectrum. She tried in so many different ways to get me help. My dad too. I've talked a lot of shit about my family on here, but one thing I will say, among many things, for my grandmother and my father, they both knew that I was on the spectrum and they tried to get me the help I needed with no success. They were ignored and rebuffed to the point where nobody could really help me. They weren't listened to. So now we're in this situation in Willesden Green, where not only am I on the spectrum, but I've got mental illnesses as well as a result of all the abuse I've endured. And not just from my family. Right? So on top of that, I am genuinely sick. But to make matters worse, the sickness that I've incurred from me being abused for so long, that's now misdiagnosed as paranoid schizophrenia because of the use of the V2K, because of the use of the remote weaponry, because like I'm surrounded by a bunch of fucking crazy people trying to make me look as crazy as they are, if not worse. So my mental health issues and my mental illnesses are being weaponized by everybody. I'm looking online and any single piece of information I can get against the gang stalkers, I decide to use it. Lacking discretion, even lacking care for other people's safety. Any single piece of information I can get on the gang stalkers, I use it. I use it for revenge because I want revenge against the gang stalkers for everything that they've done to me. So you go through that phase as a targeted individual of sharing information without thinking it through. I mean, I've done that up until like a year or so ago. Like there are times where I'd be putting up links, admittedly sometimes without reading them. It's really shameful, but like sometimes I do that, like because I'm so desperate to get revenge on the people doing this to me that I just want to hurt them. And sometimes when you're focused on hurting the gang stalkers and you're not focused on doing your due diligence, you tend to make mistakes, and that does lead to misinformation. But I'm not going to judge other TIs for doing that. I'm not going judge other TIs for doing that. The only time where I would ever judge TIs for doing that is if it led to like racism or transphobia or homophobia or misogyny or being anti-child, like, you know, thinking that abuse against children is the same as discipline. Like, the only time when I would see misinformation would be a problem is if it leads to bigotry. Because now we see the results of that. Donald Trump is president and he's weaponized TI frustration and white male TI frustration against targeted individuals as a whole. So yes, there is going to be misinformation when you're coming from that place of anger and hurt and thinking that no one loves you, thinking that no one truly cares. Because even in the targeted community, again, we ain't got no social skills. And even those that do, they have stuff, they've got their own stuff to worry about. So that they're not always going to be around for you. The only people that you have in your corner are other trafficking victims who have so much of their own baggage to focus on. They're not really there for you in the way that you need, because they can't be. And in the meantime, you're dealing with family who refuse to believe you. You're dealing with friends who refuse to believe you. You're dealing with mental health officials that are covering the shit up, that know about the crimes that are being committed against you and are using mental health diagnosis to cover the shit up. God damn, there's going to be misinformation. Of course, people are going to get shit wrong. Of course, people are going to want revenge. What else do they have apart from communication? It's not like they have the money to go up against multi-billion-dollar defense, pharma, and technology industries, is it? Are you even thinking? Thought broadcasting. Is there a thought in there? How the fuck do you get angry at people with no money? Like they don't even have, like, they're not like the rest of the public. They're not like the rest of the public. They don't have the jobs. They don't have the money. They don't have the things that most normal people have. A lot of them don't have that. And then on top of that, because of the endless connections that the gang stalkers have, good luck getting these motherfuckers to investigate their own crimes. Good luck getting the government to investigate their own crime. It's not going to happen. How the fuck are you angry at TIs with almost nothing but their communication, which is being eroded anyway because of the brain damage that they're being subjected to? How the fuck are you being angry at them and you're not angry at the multi-billion-dollar companies that are trafficking us? Are you okay, Thought? Are you fucking okay? What is wrong with you? I don't like people like that. I don't like TIs who think they're above it. I don't like it. And you know why I don't like it? Because they are the ones who have the least emotional regulation, and they are the ones who are the most in denial. I should know. I was one of those people. When you have really bad mental health issues, the first thing that you do, you are completely in denial about your own problems, to the point where you end up projecting your malaise onto other people and you don't even realize you're doing it. The compassion that I have now for other people going through the same thing is because I'm better mentally. I have the compassion because I'm better. But when I was really sick, I did not see my sickness. I saw other people's sickness. I saw other people like, you know, you just need to smile more and you just need to get over it. The sicker you are is the more you talk like that. The more maladjusted you are is the more you talk like that. Don't let a damn thing fool you. And it's funny how you talk about me having less emotional regulation than you, baby. Your emotional regulation is in the 9th circle of hell. You have no room to talk. Leave other TIs alone. If you don't want to be a part of the TI brand, fucking don't. Get the fuck out my comments, get the fuck out my friends list, and exit stage left. You're not needed. And before you come online talking about scanners, suggest a scanner. You want to help, actually help. Don't go out looking for attention and then, don't go out looking for attention and then play victim when you finally get it. Because I bet you any money you're going to play victim. Once again, I'm going to tag you in this video. And I'm going to timestamp when I address you. I don't mind going for round 3. I don't mind going for round 3. Even though you, by your own admission, you told me if a person is an idiot, don't respond to them. To be fair, I did what you told me to do because I didn't respond to you. But I'll respond to you now if that's what you want. Round 3, let's go. If this is what you want. Tired of your bullshit. Tired of your fucking bullshit, man. Again, TIs, you're going to go through multiple stages when you go through this kind of torture. You're going to go through stages where, the only thing that you can handle is being validated. You're going to go through stages where you're angry and disgusted at the things that are being done to you. And you're going to go through a stage where validation is the only thing you can handle, and you can't even handle criticism. And instead of people saying, you know what, you need to accept criticism. No. There is a thing called an emotional process. There are times where there's going to be times where you can handle criticism. There's going to be times where you can handle criticism and you can handle being told the truth about yourself. There's going to be times where you can handle that. There are going to be times where you can't handle that. And the only thing that you want is to be validated, because that's what your emotions need. That's what your emotions need at the time to get better. There are times where you're going to feel vulnerable, like you're going to want to die because of how bad the gang stalking is and how unloved you feel because of how cruel people are and because of how many cruel people are surrounding you and because of how much they delight in their cruelty. It's going to feel awful. It's going to feel awful. Then there are times where you're going to want to rock somebody's shit, like I did in November. There's going to be times where you're going to rock everybody's shit. There are times where you're going to want to be violent. And the one thing that will stop you from being violent, the one thing that will stop you self-destructing, the one thing that, that kind of gets you through the need to be validated and gets you through the ability to accept criticism is this inbuilt primal need to survive, because that's what the abuse reduces you to. It reduces you to this primal need to survive. And once you connect with that need, that's when you start growing stronger. That's when you start finding ways around the physical torture. That's when you start finding ways around the psychological warfare. That's when you start finding ways around the financial abuse and the legal loopholes and all that type of stuff. When you go through all of those emotional processes constantly, eventually it whittles you down to your bare and basic and irrational need to survive. But that bare, basic and irrational need to survive, forget everything that I've said in the past. That is your strength. That is your fucking strength. And that's the one thing they want to kill in you. Your will to survive. But sometimes with some people, that will to survive only gets stronger the more you try to hurt people. And they resolve to stay alive out of spite. Sometimes that leads to positive places. So go through the motions. Don't judge your emotions. The more you judge your emotions and the more you think you're stupid for feeling them, is the more they're going to have control over you. In order to beat the illness, you've got to become the illness. In order to beat the jealousy, that perps feel every day, and that they, you know, that make them want to subject you to pain all the time. In order to beat the envy, you've got to become the envy. In order to beat the cowardice, you've got to become the cowardice. In order to beat lies, you have to become the lie. Huh? You remember how they used to call me mad woman and mad girl? Hey, for those of you who've been following me for years, you remember how they used to call me that shit? All I had to do was give them exactly what they asked for. Now look. They wanted me to be the scary black woman. All I had to do was give them exactly what they asked for. Now look. Sometimes these people write their own ticket. In trying to take away your power, they take away their own. Let's not get a damn thing twisted. And once again, that's just who I am as a person. That's just my life. You know, I was born to turn lead into gold. I was born to alchemize shit. Or what? That's what I was born to do. That's what my destiny is. That's what my purpose is. It was never to turn good stuff into great stuff. It was to turn bad stuff into good stuff. That's what I do. That's my life. Again, magic or no. Know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes, you know, instead of playing into, you know, trying to play against a stereotype of the gang stalkers, you know, for some TIs, not all TIs, it's actually better that you play into the rumors. Because once you play into them, people start sensing that something isn't right with your case. People start sensing the lies that are being told. And the perps, they can't do what you do. They can't play into the things that you say about them, because those things are the truth. And if they validate your truth, what happens? Yeah, you might feel bad for a while, but really think about it. What happens? What happens when they validate you? They blow the whole thing up. So yeah, my fellow TIs, you've got to go through the motions. Every emotion you will ever feel, it all counts. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you're feeling too much, that you're not logical enough, that you're not rational enough. Don't let anybody ever tell you that. And especially not people that are sicker than you are. You've got to go through your emotions. That's the only way you win. In order to beat the gang stalking, you've got to become it. You've got to stop running from it. The whole point of gang stalking is to lean on your desire to look respectable, because where does that come from? Your need to survive. Don't let them exploit it. A bad reputation is better than no reputation. Remember that. And I learned that very quickly. The second I got into this TI business, I learned quickly, relatively quickly, that a bad reputation is better than no reputation. A bad reputation gets eyes on you. And if they've got eyes on you, it gets eyes on the cause. And if it gets eyes on the cause, there's a chance of saving people's lives. Stop being afraid to look bad. So yeah, I didn't think I was gonna get this hype. It's very late. It's like, what, 11? Oh, Lord. Whew. Anyway, baby. My fellow TIs, if you've made it this far, let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking, what you're feeling, you know. And I always want to hear from you. If it's respectful, I want to hear from you. But like so I want to hear from you guys. Peace and blessings. I love you guys so much. Take care. Bye bye, my darlings.